up, Matt? What's up, Daniel?
All right. Welcome to NorCal Sports Network, or the 35-6-4. I guess that would be Chicago, but that's our man down below. Just got back from Chicago, and 35-6-4 represents the San Francisco Giants at 36-40 now. What an absolute incredible night for Major League Baseball.
It was awesome, man.
Maybe the best Major League Baseball televised game I have seen in my lifetime.
No, it's fantastic.
It was that.
Except for the generator that they kept picking up during the entire broadcast. Did you hear that damn thing?
I did not.
I missed that.
You didn't hear it? Every time they weren't talking, you're going on in the background. That's the only thing I didn't like about it.
I did not.
Other than that, coverage is fantastic, yes.
Yeah, that's right, Lou. It is 25-6-4. I made it 35-6-4. I know it's 25-6-4. That was my best song growing up. And 25-6-4. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was my song. That one and Feeling Stronger Every Day. That was my song I drove to my basketball games. Just got me all pumped up. But let's get off of that. Let's get on to this night. Man, I have I don't know if I probably won't cry now because I already cried earlier tonight watching the game with just the stuff with Willie, man. I'm telling you, Willie was my man. Just seeing that smile at 16 years old, playing a boy playing with men. Mm-hmm. And that's why when he came up in 1951 at the age of 20, he was
ready to go.
Man. He was ready to go. He'd already been knocked around in the great Negro leagues. And, man, I tell you, I learned a lot even more about the Negro leagues tonight that just made me have such great appreciation for what they went through. And you know what? Kudos to them. They weren't allowed to play, so they made their own league, and they made a great league. And
did you hear Greason during his interview?
I did. 99-year-old Reverend Greason. Man, the guy was sharp. I mean, that dude's sharper than our president in how, gee whiz. I mean,
almost 20 years older, yeah.
Almost 20 years older, and his mind is functioning like great. I mean, I loved it. It was Major League Baseball.
99 years old.
That's the guy. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Greason?
Yeah. What made this so special tonight was just the history. The pregame was fabulous. The music, the festivities, the old Negro League, the dancing and the clothes and stuff. I mean, I lived in the Deep South, so I know what the Deep South's like. I've been in Louisiana, I've been in Alabama, I've been in Mississippi, I've been in, the poorest of poor parts of Mississippi in people's homes, and I was treated really, really nice. I just got to say,
night and day.
I felt more comfortable, a white guy, being in an all-black neighborhood, everybody outside walking around, and I'm helping them with their health care. I felt more comfortable talking to them than I did in the white neighborhoods because I felt a little nervous around some of those white people down south, man. You want to talk about I was around people that had those KKK. I mean, there's weird stuff down there. But I'll tell you, when I was around, I had a network of people that would, I had one guy, he was like, you'd consider him, most people wouldn't even, they'd be afraid of him, but he'd drive around in my car and he'd say, okay, we're going to go to this house. They need a plan. They need your, because I I was selling free healthcare, but from the government, right? And so they didn't have any healthcare because these were people on Medicare. And so he took me door to door and I was paying him money. I was just saying thank you. I was just giving him, and there would be a group of about 8 guys. They were usually all liquored up and stuff, but then I'd pick them up, say, okay, where are we going today? And but I'll tell you, what I loved about the South and the Black history, most of them are very religious. And since, they were just, good people, a lot of really good people. And so as I was watching that game tonight, I had this connection going on in my heart. And I was just like, man. And to hear what Reggie Jackson had to say,
Ooh,
boy,
unbelievable.
Yeah,
absolutely unbelievable.
I'm surprised Fox let it go. I was like, okay, here we go.
It needed to be heard. And you saw
he was honest.
You saw with those Burkhart, and they said preach, and then someone else said amen. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Jeter or somebody, but it was good stuff. And maybe it woke some people up. Tonight. But I'll tell you what, Major League Baseball
did really good today.
Big victory tonight. And I'll tell you what, they have to continue this game yearly. They have to. This has to be an annual thing. And the All-Star game, I know it's the Willie Mays award for who's the MVP. It needs to be renamed the Willie Mays Classic. It just does. The All-Star game, he was in 24 All-Star games. They said it over and over tonight. The All-Star game, Ted Williams the All-Star game was made for Willie Mays. The guy was a showman. He loved it. He loved to play. Just name it the Willie Mays All-Star Classic game. And the winner gets the MVP of the Willie Mays Award. That's what it needs to be. Willie Mays was baseball for America. As they said tonight on the show, he came in at just the right time on TV, and I loved that black and white, the camera angles.
Yeah, that was great.
What'd you guys think of that?
That was awesome. Loved it, man.
Anything,
the camera angles and everything.
Yeah.
I liked it. You saw the flight of the ball. I liked it better than the regular broadcast, man. I could care less about where the hell the pitch is going. I want to see where the ball goes when it's hit. That's awesome.
Anything throwback is good. You wonder why people want to wear throwback shoes and throwback jerseys and throwback style and just anything in the past more than the present. It's no coincidence. People love that. At least for one night, baseball was the best sport in the world for one night, at least.
And they picked a perfect time. NFL's down. NBA finals just finished. In a few days, the NBA is going to own the sports world when everybody starts, next week or two, starts signing. Perfect time, June 20th. Actually, June 19th would be actually a pretty good day too. Maybe they play it on June 18th every year, the day Willie passed. That would be the ideal date, 6/18, man. And, they ought to try to have some type of another game, where they have the minor league, they have that futures game always. Man,
during the All-Star game.
Stack it right. I mean, I don't know, man. I just thought tonight I thought the announcers, I love Joe Davis and John Smoltz. Yeah. Those two together. I think Joe Davis, the Dodgers have another young superstar announcer. They had Vin Scully for all those years. If you asked me, I was thinking about this the other night. I was like, whenever you're in the shower and you have time to take a long shower and think, I was thinking, who were the most impactful people for me, baseball wise, of the sport, what made, and the first two names that came to my mind was Willie Mays and Vin Scully. I love Vin Scully. I grew up on Vin Scully, being up in San Francisco Bay Area. I had a little transistor radio about the size of this, but it was about 8 times thicker. Is this little thick thing, and I'd pull it up, and KFYI or KFI. I want to say it was like 570 or something. I can't even remember. 540, 570 on the LA dial. And I could the broadcast would come in and out. And I was listening to Vin Scully and Ross Porter and Jerry Doggett. Anyway, Vin Scully could tell stories. And back then, the guys would wait 45 pitches in between they threw a pitch. So you learned a lot of stories. And 640, thanks, Tom. I couldn't remember. I knew it was somewhere down there on the dial. But I'd go back and forth between KSFO, listen to the Giants at 560, and then I just move my little button barely, and I'd pick up the Dodger games. It was just fun listening to Vinny, and he loved Willie Mays. That was his favorite player. And so those two guys had such a impact on me as a young kid that I just fell in love with the game. And the other thing I wanted to say about this, and then I'll let you guys take it away, is baseball to me is why I love the sport so much. Stadiums. Los just got back from Wrigley, and we got to hear about that story, an iconic stadium and city and all that. You can go to all 32 NFL. Is it 32 NFL teams, Los? Or 32.
Yeah.
You can go to all the stadiums, and stadiums are pretty cool, right? But when you look at the field, it's all the same. It's 100 yards. It's the same dimensions. Same with the NBA. You can go to all the different arenas and go, oh, wow, that's a pretty cool arena. But they're all the same. Once you get inside, it's like same court. Baseball, the field dimensions are all different, and the dimensions play a role in the outcome of games. I mean, you saw it the other night, Los, when the ball got stuck in the ivy, I think. And I don't know if that was a game you were at, and Ramos just if he would have started digging in for it, it could have been an inside the park home run, because that's their ground rules.
Mm-hmm.
But if he lets it go and he says, I can't find it, it's just a double. But if he's digging for it, I just love that. So give me your stories on tonight. We'll get to the game, guys. But tonight we'll cover the game in depth for a bit. But the game tonight was about just this historic night in Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama, and the Say Hey Kid. And I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll share another thought I have with you. Go ahead, guys.
Go for it, Los.
You want to go? All right. I mean, baseball is a game that, me and Dan played it, and I can't speak for Dan, but I know for myself that it's a game unlike other sports where you don't need to be a certain size. You don't need to have a certain strength. If you just for the love of the game, you just can play it. You don't have to have certain specifications to play that game. And the one thing that separates baseball from the other sports is the stories, the storytelling, not just about the game, about off the field, just story after story. And that's what makes you fall in love with the game. And that's why it was America's pastime for so long. And then, just for many different reasons, Americans love violence. So maybe football came into play a little bit more, and football was more of a television type of game. It's a little faster. Basketball is a little bit faster. We as a society started liking everything done fast. Drive-throughs, fast.
McDonald's, McDonald's, Burger King,
Yeah. Baseball's it's not supposed to be fast. That's why we're so against, the pitch clock. So tonight was, it's sad that the Giants lost. but it was a win for baseball. It was a step in the right direction. It was reminding people about why people love the game and bringing out all the Negro players and paying homage and respect to them. I don't know if people know this, but Willie Mays wrote a letter the day before he passed away, and he said it wasn't about him. It was about all the other Negro players. Some of them may not have been superstars, very good players in their own right. Maybe they never got a chance to show their talents in MLB, but it was about them. And that's why this man was personally for me so special. It was a lot more than just what he did on the field. It was just he was in an era when, you know, being selfless and having gratitude, you know, playing the game the right way, playing the game with fun, with joy. Every time I'm on the show, I'm very consistent with what I say. I say I don't like the game as much right now, all sports, because it's just straight business. It's business. I mean, the stories that have come out the last 48 hours about Mays, when he heard Canseco did a 40-40, and that was a big deal. He's like, I could have did that. I could have did that all day. But if I stole all these bases, Willie McCovey's not going to be able to. They're going to pitch around him. I want Willie Mack to be able to get his thing. Who does that? Who in today's baseball would do that? Would take away their stats of stealing bases and hitting home runs because it's going to get them paid, so the guy behind him could be able to drive in runs and be able to help win games. It was about winning then.
Yeah.
That's all it was about. You didn't care if you went 4 for 4 with 4 homers. You could win the game in many different ways. And that's what made Mays special. He was the perfect ball player. He wasn't a 5-tool guy. He was a 6-tool guy, maybe a 7-tool guy, because he had instincts and he had high IQ. You know, he could, I mean, we always talk about, you know, they say the 5-tool player, one of the things is speed. We've talked about this in the show at end, right, Eric? We've talked about guys that are fast, but they can't steal a base.
They're kind of dumb.
I guarantee you, I guarantee you, if you took Willie Mays and Jung-Hoo Lee and you ran them in a sprint, I guarantee you Lee would probably beat Mays every single time. But Mays could steal bases because he knew how to get leads. He knew how to get jumps. He knew maybe how to slide to a certain part of the bag. He never slid head first if you look at the footage of him. So tonight was just really about, you know, taking all of us back, not just the black and white, just the old field, the smaller field. Reggie Jackson's comments were very honest and very forthcoming. Is it going to change people? Probably not. People are going to be the way they are. That's just how it is. But it was still good that he came out and said those things. So tonight was a win for baseball. And I hope it, you know, continues and they piggyback off this and just kind of remind people, especially the young boys today that are not playing baseball. They're playing basketball and football because it's kind of instant and quick gratification. They have to go through the minors and kind of put in their time. Hopefully some young kids, maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, watched tonight's game without caring who won and just said, wow, that's pretty cool. I think I'd kind of like to do that. So if baseball can win in something, hopefully it'll get young boys playing the game again.
What are we hearing about? I'm seeing in the chat about Yaz hurt.
He's going to be on the IL, it sounds like. And Matos, I guess, got pulled from the game.
Very, very good. Good
Supposedly,
news.
Melvin said it in the post that he felt a pull in his left side when he swung, and then he felt it again when he threw. So it's an oblique, so he'll probably be out for about a month, if not longer.
Okay, Matos gets his chance to show what
again.
What Ramo and now let's not platoon him.
Not platoon, but not lead off, please.
Yeah,
please don't. And to kind of piggyback on what Lo said, one thing I like about Willie Mays when you hear about all these stories, and you're talking about how he's worried about the guy behind him, you know, being able to do his job. He was a teammate. That's what you want. You want to have a teammate where it's not you said it, Los. It's not about yourself. It's not about your stats. It's not about what you're going to be able to get in the next time you hit free agency, whatever it may be. But he was a team player, and he would do whatever it took for that team to win, even if it meant, you know, he took a hit on quote unquote stats. Then again, he also played in a time where you necessarily didn't get paid for putting up big stats either, right? It was year to year. I mean, they got paid decent, but it's not like it is today. Not by any.
He didn't make
stretch of
$100 grand
imagination.
until his last year.
Exactly. But they still made decent money. But what I'm saying is, he just was the consummate teammate, and you hear all these stories, and that's all you hear about, and I love it. It's absolutely fantastic. As a matter of fact, KMBR played an interview that they had with him back in 2010, and they were talking about stealing bases and how Ricky Henderson stole all these bases and everything. And then they mentioned something about Ricky Henderson led the league in walks. And you can hear in Willie's voice, the incredulous. He's like, walks? He's like, what's that? Why do you want to walk? It was great. It was classic Willie Mays. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Willie was confident.
He was great, man. He would tell you, man, straight up, hey, this is what it's about. And he didn't hold back. He told it how it was. It was awesome.
Real quick, Dan, I wrote a book when I was in 6th grade. I wrote a book report about Willie Mays. That's why I kind of got to know him, because I mean, he played before my time. I was 6 years old when he retired from the game, so I didn't really watch him play. And when I had to write this report, there was no YouTube then. There was no internet then. I had to actually do something called read a book and study him.
Yeah.
And then hear from older friends and family members that watched him play, and just and then started to see more and more and learn about him. But he said one thing in the last 48 hours since he passed. He made a comment that I've never heard, and I thought I knew a lot about Willie Mays. And it speaks a lot to the way he thinks and the way older ball players thought compared to today. He said, I would rather be good every day than great once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll repeat that. I would rather be good every day than great once in a while.
That's Matt Chapman right there.
Meaning that he wants to affect the game somehow, some way. And of course, he had 5-6 tools to do it. So I get it. Not everybody has that. But instead of just being a flash in the pan, and I always kind of talk crap about Blake Snell, how he's like a Cy Young Award winner, and then he's a 500 pitcher, then he's a 500 pitcher. Then when his contract is about to come up, all of a sudden he's a Cy Young Award winner again. So that's a guy that's great once in a while. And a lot of players are like that right now. A lot. Look at the back of their cards. Yeah. He was good every day.
Every ball up, he charged the ball on a base hit to center field like it was he had to throw the runner out at the plate. They're going to lose Game 7 of the World Series. Man, he just played hard. Another thing I learned tonight about Willie. Did you hear the story? And then I missed it, and I was going to rewind it. About the team that didn't want to sign him because they thought he had too many. Was it the Dodgers?
I'm not sure.
The Dodgers wanted him.
Okay, I think it was the Dodgers. I caught this. I believe it was the Dodgers. I'm not sure. I got to go back. Maybe somebody heard it. Joe Davis was telling the story that the Dodgers or whoever it was, they thought there were holes in Willie's game with the curveball and the swing, and so they didn't sign him. And the Giants said over dinner, this is the best ball player we've ever seen. And at that time they just outbid everybody because they were afraid that somebody else might come and get him. So they signed him and they gave him $4,000. This is like this is early 50s, right?
No, this would have been like 49 or
49, 50.
I think 49,
because they would have, he played in the minors at Trenton. So whoever it was that let him go, because the broadcast, the Dodger scout. Yeah, it was the Dodger scout. And the Dodgers could have had Willie Mays, guys. But the Giants,
who was the Giant scout that got him, though?
Not sure who it was, but the story behind this
Ed Montague.
Okay, Ed Montague.
The father of the what I guess that's Ed Montague Jr., I guess. Isn't that who it was? The umpire?
The umpire, Montague?
Yep. That was his father who signed him. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's right. Now I remember that. Yep. From the book. So here's the deal. The lesson that the Giants, we're talking the San Francisco Giants, okay? the greatest team in Major League history for wins and had Mays and McCovey and Cepeda and, and here we are. They're not dicking around over, $1,000 or $2,000 at the time. It's like we're giving over market what we think because we don't want anybody else to get them. And the Giants could have done the same thing with Aaron Judge when they had a chance 2 years ago by saying the Mets had a ceiling. I mean, the Yankees, there was a ceiling, and it was somewhere around $400 million. We heard it from Michael Kay during free agency. He said they're not going to go. The Yankees won't keep going. Remember, the Yankees lowballed Judge, which sent him into free agency. And their offer initially was like $300 million. Remember, 300, and they jumped it up to 360 to match the Giants. What if the Giants did what Montague and the owner of the Giants did back in 48, 49, whatever year that was, and just said, this is today's best ball player that can, or one of the top 2 or 3, right? Ohtani, Judge. We're just going to give him $600 million, $500. I don't think the Yankees would have come back and matched that. Maybe they would have went up to 400 and Judge would have said, I'll stay as a Yankee. But, there is a certain level where guys just say, oh, man, that's pretty tough to pass up.
The Padres actually were the highest bid at
400
million.
Yeah, 400. So
But you know what it would have been a really true indication about how people outside of the Bay Area think about the Giants. What if they did offer 450, 475, a cool $100 million more than the Yankees, and Judge still said no?
Well, that's an indictment on the team.
But I kind of wish it did happen like that, because that would be in bold exclamation point an endorsement or non-endorsement of the Giants. Like, I could be a multimillionaire and win and possibly win titles, or I can go hide and be in the Giants.
But this is what they needed to do, because it would have done 2 things. One, it would have woken them up to, okay, we're not going to get stars, it seems like. But you see, I said this, I was at the time NorCal Sports Network was not in existence. I was on Larry's show, on Krug show, and I was telling everyone that during those negotiations, when you had Judge at Oracle Park and he was here in San Francisco and he was doing his little thing and trying to make it look like he was coming, I would have said, Aaron, we got you. Here's our ballpark. We're in the offices. I would have said, here's $500 million, 10 years, but we got to know in 24 hours whether you want this or not. If not, we wish you well. This will be our, best and final offer. And if you decide to go back to the Yankees or somewhere else, that's fine. But you know what that does, Los? It calls the man into and you're in control of the negotiations now. You're in control because you're no longer being jacked around by a guy who's going to play you. You're giving him 24 hours. He's got $500 million on the table, and you pull it and just say, if he comes back and says, I'll sign right now after you pulled it, yeah, you sign him. But you're in control. You don't let this guy pull your chain all around, and you put everything on hold. And while you put everything on hold, the rest of the market got dictated while you waited for him. And then you ended up with Mitch Haniger.
What if YouTube existed in the 60s? And there was a NorCal Sports Network show in the 60s. And every night we got to talk about Mays, Cepeda, McCovey, Marichal, and the Alou brothers instead of what we talk about.
Well, we have nobody to talk about, Los.
Instead of on a nightly basis, what you guys do talk about. Would have been nice.
Yeah,
Talk
you want
about
to get into
real, true superstars.
You want to
Real
get
true
into
superstars.
tonight's game? What do we have to talk about?
Not really.
Elliot Ramos.
The chat is going absolutely apeshit about Chapman.
I'm telling you guys, are you finally waking up to Matt Crapman, as our buddy Nick says? I've told you this guy before the season would hit 220 to 240, and he's going to bounce around there, but he's probably going to settle closer to 220. Where's he at now?
Don't know. Let's find out. Hold on.
I bet he's in the mid 220s. He's K-ing left and right. He can't.
Yeah, he's striking out a lot.
It's just unbelievable. But you guys all, and you know how many errors he has? 10. How come we're not sending him down like we did Luciano?
Yeah, good point.
10 errors. How many did Luciano make? 3 or 4?
I think it was 4.
10-4. Okay, Roger.
10-4. Let's see. Chapman is batting 227 along with Conforto.
And you missed out on trading Conforto when he was hot. You guys, Farhan never learns the buy low, sell high. There, Conforto's value is just plummeting right now.
Hey, take a look at this. Let's go from the 4th spot all the way down. Chapman batting 227, Conforto 227, Soler 226, Flores 212, Yastrzemski 224, Slater 227, Ahmed 246.
Hey, there's
Brooks.
your best hitter. Put Ahmed in the cleanup there.
Brooks 130, Fitzgerald 273.
All right. Can we Matos doesn't hit and they send him down. Brooks is 3 for 32. Are we going to just let this guy stay up? Because, I mean, you don't have another first baseman? My goodness. I said this last night, Los, half kiddingly, but I'd rather see Bryce Eldridge for getting at bats than
Yes, Deering. Why was Fitz sitting at first base the whole top half of the 9th inning? They didn't let him go. Why? You're down by 1. He could have stolen a bag. It was a hit away from tying the game if you stole that bag. They're not going to throw him out. The guy is fast. I didn't understand it, but whatever. It is. I don't know. Maybe the Giants are allergic to running. I don't know. They break out in hives if they take that base.
Yeah, this is just.
And Wynn is not a starting pitcher. Come on.
Yep, Wynn is not a starting pitcher. If that's splitter does not split and go drop and go down, it's hanging, man. That thing's just meatball.
It is.
It's coming in there. You can actually read the ball that says "hit me."
That's the issue. We said he has a great splitter, but if he can't locate it, bye-bye.
Man,
bye-bye.
Did Donovan crush that one?
He crushed it.
And Eric
that one
was jumping up and down.
It doesn't matter. I hardly did anything for my team, man.
Oh, well. Anyway, it is. Wow, what can you say, guys, with this this team? It's not even worth covering. It really isn't. There's not much to cover with this team. Strong likelihood they could get swept in St. Louis. You guys, St. Louis is the best team in the National League since May 12th. Besides,
that's what I heard. I heard that on the broadcast.
I told you that they were hot. Remember, I told you they were like 10 under, and now they're 500.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, let me look at this box score real quick. Let me just.
I can bring it up if you want to. I got
it. Bring it up. It hurts my eyes to probably look at it, but bring it up.
Boom.
All right. Okay. So Wisely 296. He's your and Ramos 307.
Your top 3 guys are okay.
Yeah, top 3 guys, and then it's just like from Crapman down, it gets crappier.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
227 is the high, except for 246. Ahmed tops that. It's just, and you know what?
That was an average pitcher they faced tonight too.
Oh yeah,
he was nothing special at all. Why wasn't Estrada in the lineup? Did he get hurt?
Good point. I don't know. He didn't even come in there during the game.
He just hit a game. He just hit a game-winning 3-run homer at Wrigley.
Yeah, you know what, Los,
and he was out of it.
He must be hurt or something. He must be dealing with something.
Let's wrap up tonight's game real quick, and then we'll get to the Chicago series. Tell us about the Wrigley Field and all that. But the Giants,
I honestly don't know. All respect to the channel and all love to Dan and Eric. I don't honestly know if the chat wants to hear about Chicago. I think the chat just loves talking about game to game and what's going on with the local team.
Well, yeah, game to game, guys. It really is. This is why I've been telling you guys, they're gonna do this. They're probably gonna go on more losing streaks than winning. They've lost now 3 in a row. They don't have Webb pitching on this trip, do they? Sunday, maybe? I'm not sure. Or no, Hicks is pitching Sunday. So does Webb pitch? When did Webb pitch last?
I can't remember.
Second game.
Second game.
So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, he's not pitching till they get home.
Yeah.
Against Chicago. So very, decent possibility of them losing 2 in St. Louis. I'd be shocked if they win both.
Oh, Michael Roeder said he's hurt his shoulder. Talking about Estrada.
Oh, okay.
So who's left?
Happen?
Okay, Luciano. Bring up Luciano.
He has gotten reps at second base. So
tell you what, you can bring up Luciano, and then you got Matos. You want to see what happens again? Watch what happens if Luciano and Matos come up again, and they're all 3 in the lineup. It would be incredible to see them go on an 8-1 stretch again. Then you would be like, maybe there is something to these 3 guys playing together.
By the way, did anybody catch Barry Bonds and Griffey on the pregame for Fox? Did you see what Barry Bonds said? Oh, I love it. By the way, Barry Bonds right now, what is he, 50, 59?
No,
Barry Bonds, right?
54, I think, or something like that.
Barry Bonds right now could be an improvement.
No, he's got to be older than that.
He's still in shape. He could be a better 4 hitter than what we have right now with the 20.
I think he's
61. Yeah.
I think he's my age, if I'm not mistaken.
Barry can still play. He looked in phenomenal shape. Yeah, I would trust him in the 4-hole right now in 2024.
Oh, he's better than Chapman.
Give him 2-3 weeks of revving up and BP and just.
Barry's 59. He'll be 60 in July.
Let him DH. Don't let him play the field. Let him DH. Or let him take 4 hacks. I guarantee you he could do better than
what they
that whole lineup.
They should do it for 2 reasons. 1, it would be an improvement. 2, it resets his Hall of Fame clock.
Oh, good point. Very good point.
They should do it not just as a gimmick. He is better. They could just platoon him and Soler.
Derek Jeter asked him on the pregame show. Well, he asked it to Griffey and Barry. Since we're in Birmingham, Alabama, and we're celebrating the Negro Leagues and all this good stuff, how would you fare against Satchel Paige? And this is exactly Barry Bonds' answer. You talking to me? Gone. The whole set started laughing. That man is so confident. I love it.
Yeah, he is. He's confident.
He said, well, what happened if you face Satchel Paige? Me? Gone. No problem. I'm taking Satchel Paige deep. Love it. Just there's nobody like him.
Yeah.
The confidence that these guys had back in the day. Mays did it in a humble way. Barry did it, definitely more bravado with his chest sticking out. But that's half of being a great pro athlete is confidence. If you don't have any confidence in yourself, and, even if the organization doesn't, and this is what, a guy like Matos needs to understand, I'm not saying Matos is at the level of Bonds or Mays. I'm not saying that at all. But if you believe in yourself even though the organization has constantly
self-confidence goes a very long way. As a matter of fact, in an interview we were playing with Elliot Ramos when Dan interviewed him back in 2023, his biggest thing was his feeling confident. It's between your ears, man. If you got the tools, it's all about between the ears. And once you get that, you're good. Look how good he's doing now.
And if this organization doesn't appreciate what you can do, then you talk to your agent in the off season and you work something out and showcase your talent for.
Yeah, Ramos is getting close to that point in his career where he can go be a free agent, right? Is it?
No,
Is he a free agent?
He's got like 5 years to go.
Oh, does he? Oh my God, never.
No way. Ramos?
Is it that long?
He's 24.
He's not even in his arbitration years. Close.
Oh, you're right.
He's got to go through 3 arbitration years.
But didn't he have enough? Maybe he didn't.
No, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He has no path.
So he can't really make any real money for 5 years.
Yeah, I said it tongue in cheek. I put a tweet out today, just tongue in cheek, showing the stats of him and Jung-Hoo Lee through 37 games, and they weren't even. It was comical. I was just being kind of, whimsical, saying that his agent should go show these stats to Farhan right now and say, give me a deal, or I want to get out of here. I want to, but he can't demand nothing. Nope.
Neither can Matos. Neither can Luciano. You're stuck, man.
No, they're stuck with Moneyball Man. You know what? I want to see this. If Matos and Luciano are coming up both, and they're all in the lineup, and if they start winning again, that would be hilarious to me. It would be like, okay, and now, oh, wait, the guys are back? Wait, let's send them down. And then all of a sudden you look back and, well, wait a minute. When Luciano played and Ramos and Matos were all in the lineup, we were 16-2. But we're like 10 games. We're like 18 under 500 when they don't play. Oh gosh. All right.
One quick last comment on Mays is, I've heard so many stories about him, but Bob Costas was asked a question about him, and his response was very interesting to me. He said, if the Hall of Fame could only have 10 players in it, and you asked almost every writer and every player that's played the game, who would be the number one guy to go in? It was a majority that would say Mays. Can you imagine 10 people in the Hall of Fame? Who do you pick for your 10? My God. But Mays will be there, and Mays will be in there as the number one choice almost every single time, because
you know what?
The people that vote for Babe Ruth, I know he pitched a little and he was pretty good. Babe Ruth had one thing that he did great. He hit home runs. He hit for average too, but he wasn't no defensive specialist, and he sure as heck didn't steal no bases. So Mays affected the game in a lot of different ways, and that's why he is unquestionably number one.
All right, you gave me a new thing to think about. I'd rather talk about something more interesting than the Giants.
Please do.
I'm going to give you 10 guys, my 10 guys, if only 10 guys could go in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
That's going to be tough.
Are any of them pitchers? Because they made the interesting point that what if it was just everyday players who affected the game
players.
every day? Yes, because they affect the game every day. And those guys back then, they played 160 to 162 games. They didn't take time off. So they were in there
154 to 162.
154
to 160. Right. All right. Here's my 10 guys. Mays, Aaron. That's 2. Mays, Aaron, Clemente. There's 3. 4. 10 guys. Wow.
I have an idea about Eric. It's all pre-1940.
Here's my Ted Williams.
Might be.
Ted Williams, 4.
I see it in the chat too.
I'm not looking at the chat. I'm thinking Ken Griffey Jr. as one, but I'm not sure yet. I got to get my 4. I got Ted Williams 4. You kind of got to get a position guys in there too, or is it just anybody? Just 10 guys?
10 guys.
Doesn't have to be position. Okay, 10 guys. 4.
You know, Josh Gibson got a lot of love today. I don't think people realized how good he was.
Yeah, I'm going to throw him in there. Josh Gibson.
I think I might too.
You
hit 370 for your career, and you played catcher.
Yeah.
At a time when they didn't have like the gear that they have now, like catcher beats you up left and right. You can run over the catcher back then, and he still hit 370 for his career with some of the longest homers ever. Wow.
All right, so I got 5. Josh Gibson. 6. I'm gonna go with
Corpo. You know what I'm talking about, Corpo. I see you. Woo!
Probably one of those old guys. Let me see who's Corpo. What's he got in there?
Come on,
don't worry about it. Just do your 10. Just worry about your 10, man.
Come on, man. It's military history, you know.
Yeah.
You know where he's gonna go.
I got 5.
It's not easy.
I don't know. It's not easy. I'm not sure if I'm looking at Cobb or you know what? I wish I can pull up the stats in my head right now. I'm thinking of guys like
there's so many numbers. I know.
I'm thinking of Lou Gehrig.
Yes.
5. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go George Brett. Guy was like a really solid third baseman and hit like almost 400 one year. But George Brett, that's 6. I have Aaron Mays. I wonder if
Griffey's a tough one.
Oh, Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle.
Because Griffey was hurt so much towards the back end of his career, but man, what a talent.
Mickey Mantle, 7. You got me thinking on the Babe, but I'm gonna have to go with Babe.
You gotta stick
That's
Babe
a
in
debate? Come on, man. That shouldn't be a debate. The Babe, man.
Yeah.
He did change baseball. He changed baseball.
Eric, just out of curiosity, can you look up Ruth's lifetime batting average?
Yeah,
it was over 300, I think.
Yeah. I know he definitely wasn't like a 230, 248, or even 270. I know he was up there.
342.
Whew.
OPS
So I got
plus.
Oh, I forgot. I'm putting in Barry Bonds, 9.
Yeah, I was waiting for you.
I was going to be my 4th guy, and all of a sudden I started Barry Bonds, 9. 10. My 10th and final. I wish I knew his stats without looking.
I know.
I'm thinking of possibly Cal Ripken Jr., but I don't know, just because I don't have hardly any guys in the infield. But not that I need an infielder. I got a catcher. Okay, 10. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? The nation turns its lonely eyes to you.
I got him in there.
Say hey, hey.
There's a lot of Yankees.
All right, I'm going to go with Joe and leave out Lou Gehrig.
Jolton Joe.
Yeah.
You got to leave out Lou Gehrig. Woo.
Well, look at who I got.
I would drop George Brett for Lou Gehrig. That's just me, though.
I'd have to agree.
I
Yes.
just wanted to go with the guy that could, maybe I was thinking position, but
Yeah, just no. I think
I'm
yeah,
not
you're
even thinking position. I'm just
Yeah.
10 players.
you could talk me out of that, Gehrig. But I'll. How many home runs did Gehrig hit?
a lot.
He didn't hit. Did he hit? Was he just over 500? Like 5?
What a great answer.
Was he like 5? Was he like around 518, 517?
Yeah, but is Gehrig better than Pujols?
Well, I thought of Pujols too, but then
How many home runs? He has 493.
493.
Mm.
Pujols, I think some of those were
Enhanced.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, you got Barry on there. That's enhanced.
Barry was great before he even started the stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Right? Yeah, I mean, you can still say Pujols. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Pujols was. I thought of Schmidt. I debated between Schmidt and Brett. Then I went with the. The hitting. But that's. I considered Ricky Henderson for a moment. I considered Ty Cobb. I did not consider Rogers Hornsby.
No.
Jimmy Fox.
Dude had some power.
Yeah. I tried to incorporate more of the. I was thinking guys with tools too.
All around, yeah.
More tools. That's why I don't know much about Gehrig other than he was a slugging first baseman, and
I think he played a good first base, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm assuming he wasn't that fast.
No. So
that was my 10. I don't know. Let me hear your guys' 10. You guys had time to think, so you should probably rattle them off more.
Go ahead,
There we
Eric.
go. All right. Mays, Ruth, Gehrig. I'm going to go with Honus Wagner. I'm going to go Ty Cobb. Did I already say Lou Gehrig?
Yeah, second, right? Or third?
Somewhere on there.
Wait, go ahead again. You said Mays.
Ruth, Mantle. Didn't I say Mantle?
No.
Okay. Wagner, Cobb,
5,
and then Gehrig.
6.
Who else do I want to go? Barry Bonds, of course.
7.
Got to go Joe DiMaggio, just like you did.
8. I'm gonna bounce you.
You know what?
I'm gonna bounce you here. You got 2 more names, and if I don't hear the name, I'm bouncing you.
You know who hasn't been said, and I gotta have to go with him. Yogi Berra as the catcher.
You didn't have to have a catcher. He's not one of your. He's one of your.
No,
10
I know,
best.
but I understand. But he was instrumental. You know how many rings that guy got, and he had
As far as a winner, there's not many better than him.
All right, 9.
So,
you got one more player. If he's not named, you're getting bounced.
Let's see. Man, you almost didn't name Babe Ruth.
I had him. I just was. He was always in.
Who's the last guy that I want to get in there?
I got my finger on
the trigger. That's the tough one.
I know.
I got my finger on the trigger. Dun 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 dun. Okay. Turn over your card. Who is your 10th player?
Probably gonna have to go with. Listen to this guy pushing us, and he's sitting there freaking for 10 minutes, man.
Yeah, because I told you you had all the time while I was daydreaming.
Like 5 of them right off the rip. I had like 5 of them right off the rip.
And you're missing one that should have been right off the rip.
I think because I don't always want to go just. Nah.
Bo Jackson. We're not talking talent.
Oh, he could have been something. He could have been. Yeah. I have to go Hank Aaron.
Okay, you lucky you said that because you were going to get bounced. If you couldn't put Hank Aaron.
God, how many outfielders? There's a lot of outfielders in that one.
I was like, you're not going to go with Hammer and Hank?
Yeah. got to go with him.
I think because outfielders kind of represent usually the stolen base category, the speed category, the scoring from first on an extra base hit, power. Yeah. Although first base and third base back in the day used to be power. Yeah. So that's why outfielders, I guess, are considered. If when the conversation talks about the greatest players of all time, it's usually an outfielder.
Hey, Corpo, we're just doing pitchers. Sorry. Go ahead, Los.
All right, so I got more or less the same guys. I got one different guy than you. I got Mays, Bonds, Clemente, Mantle, Aaron,
5,
DiMaggio,
6,
Gibson, Cobb, 7, Ted Williams, and I got Stan Musial. I got Stan Musial in there.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I was
Ted
thinking Williams.
I was thinking Musial.
Yeah,
Gosh,
Stan hit almost 500 homers, and he was like about I want to say a 315, 330 hitter. He was
St. Louis Cardinal.
Yep.
God, you cannot. That's impossible to just do 10. Look, I left off Ted Williams.
There's no wrong answer. There's
no
wrong answers. It's just
Yeah, I mean, there was one wrong answer tonight.
On mine?
Just out of the 30 guys, we named mostly didn't name 30 guys because we all had
pretty much the same
6 or 7. There was one wrong answer if you think about.
You mean who we all missed?
No, who was added? Who was added as a top 10 all-time Hall of Fame player? But I know what you're doing. I get it. It's you're basing it off championships, and that's a good criteria in many ways. But Barry Bonds didn't win one championship.
Sure.
So stuff in a team sport.
Yeah, I don't think Yogi Berra was that much of a all-time top 10 talent personally.
Well, he was playing a different position too.
Yeah, but he wasn't I'd put Johnny Bench over Yogi Berra personally if I was gonna. That's just me.
Yeah, but you could do the top 10 on starting pitchers of all time. That way you separate it.
Oh boy,
and that's not easy. That's not
easy either.
Yeah. Whew. I know Walter Johnson, Dizzy Dean. I'm being Eric now. Walter Johnson, Dizzy.
Well, no, Walter Johnson's no Dizzy Dean.
No. Man,
Three Finger Brown, man. Three Finger Brown. That guy was an awesome.
Buster, ease up, pal.
Guy had a hell of a freaking curveball.
I got 9. I'm just thinking of the 10.
Oh, you're actually doing it.
Oh, you're actually doing it? How was it?
I am. You guys don't have to. I'm just kind of curious.
I'm fading here. Man.
Well, I'll just say about Chicago. If you love baseball, and I think everybody in this chat does, it's a must go. It's a must. I've been to not every park, but I've been to.
You've been to Hollywood.
Yeah.
You've been to Redwood.
Fenway and Wrigley are my favorite parks.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
gotta be. And I got to get to both of those.
And shout out to the boys if they're out there. Aaron, Will, Cliff. I mean, we had never met each other except through here, and we just had a blast, man. No drama, just laughter, and just had a great time out there. But to go to that game in that atmosphere, that crowd is loud, man. That was a Monday night game with a couple of 500 teams, and we were just saying, can you imagine this place when they had their World Series run? Can you imagine this place on a weekend against the Cardinals?
Oh,
there was no drama at all. There was a lot of Giants fans, a lot of Cubs fans, and there was no, hey, get that effing hat off, nothing like that. It was just good old-fashioned Midwest, just out there having a good time, enjoying, I would say the weather, but the weather was ridiculously humid and hot, quite uncomfortable for the first few innings. But the thing that struck me about Wrigley, and I told the guys there, is I'm looking up and the light towers are just, they're different. It was like I was in the movie The Natural or something. It was just very old school type of lights. The lights are not even behind center field and behind home plate. They're just on the first base and third base sides. You have to see it to understand it, but just the vibe, the atmosphere. It's in a neighborhood, so it's surrounded by bars and restaurants. And the Cubs-White Sox rivalry is very real. There was a stand outside of Wrigley Field that said water $4, White Sox fans $6.
I love it.
And I should have taken a picture of it, but I'm telling you guys out there, if you love the game, the city of Chicago is amazing. Absolutely great culture, great food. River goes right through the city, the skyline and the lake. I liked it more than New York, and I really love New York.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's a little cleaner city.
Hey, let me before we let me get these super chats from Nick.
Yep.
The game-ending pitch was a cement mixing meatball that he cannot come close to hitting. Yaz has a higher OPS. He sucks. He's talking about Chapman.
They're turning on Chapman now. They loved him.
Well, Nick has been on Chapman for months. Nick's
consistent.
Nick's consistent.
We got a bunch of Nicks in here. One Nick loves Chapman. The other Nick can't stand Chapman.
Well, he says Chapman has the worst, maybe the worst swing path in all of baseball. That guy's talented enough to be hitting, and he can't hit. For as good of a baseball, his athleticism, it's really good. He's fast. I mean, you watch him dive after balls, and he just has a terrible swing. Nick also says, another $5 says, I'm banned from every Giants place except here for telling the truth about this god-awful team.
That's what we do.
Yeah, so that means he must be banned on the other Giants sites. Not here, Nick. We welcome. This is no homer zone.
What's up, buddy?
Where the Pavloviches and the Slussers come not to play. Yeah. We don't need no homerism. We need some honest speaking fans and media members. We've got a few out there. We got Larry. We got a few people over there on 95.7 The Game that'll speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to hammer the Giants for everything. I mean, there is good stuff. And when they do good stuff, we want to promote it, man. We want to talk about good stuff. I'd love to come on here and talk about Bonds and Kent and Snow and Aurelia and Burks nice. and just that would be exciting. Or Posey and Crawford and Belt and Panic and Pablo and Pence. And I mean, we're not haters, guys. We're just telling you what it is. You got one stinking good player to talk about, and his name is Elliot Ramos, and he would be in the minor leagues right now if Farhan had his way and Slater and Conforto and Lee were not hurt. There was no path for Ramos. In fact, he was this close from being traded or DFA'd. They weren't going to keep him.
But what's he on the road to becoming for the San Francisco Giants?
Would that be a?
What could Ramos be?
Could be coming.
Maybe.
Oh.
That's what also.
number 10 tonight. He's leading the Giants in home runs more than Matt Chapman, more than Jorge Soler.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you're paying anywhere from 12 to 19, 20 million bucks or whatever Chapman's getting, 18 to 20, whatever in that range. So the $30 million between those two guys, and if you want to add Conforto in there at 18 million, 48 million.
There you go.
And
how much you paying Ramos?
And what else could we add? We can add Yaz in there for 8 million. That's 56 million between four players. And Ramos is getting 603,000.
Exactly. Look at this. Not only am I known as a sidekick and a minion, but I'm that other guy now.
Bring it.
No, I'm the other. No, I'm the other guy. Eric.
No, you're Los.
Dan
and
Los.
Dan
Los and the other guy.
I'm the other guy.
Damn, man.
Eric's in the number 2 chair.
God, that's tough, man.
Man, he went from Danny's sidekick, and somebody
minion.
called him a minion, and now he's the other guy. Oh man!
Hey, if you want to read
tough.
that quick super chat real quick.
Yeah, Nick says I'm going to create a Substack to tell the truth about this team. The boring nerds covering this team refuse to. Yeah, let's do it, Nick. I want to see it. Please. I mean, these nerds, they look at all the stats. I don't need to look at stats.
Nope.
To look at what I see on the field. My eyes tell me that you don't have any good ball players, but Lamont Wade and Elliot Ramos, Luis Matos can be good. Luciano, Wisely can be a serviceable ball player. Chapman is a defensive-only guy for the most part. You just have mid guys. Look, put all those guys on your fantasy team and see where you end up. Go ahead. Just put them all in your starting lineup. I was going to do it in this league because I didn't want to play, and I was going to draft every Giant and just leave it that way.
If you did that, Robert would be beating you.
Exactly. My only producing player would be Ramos. If I had, I would have had Wade, but he wouldn't have done anything. He didn't have any RBIs or any home runs. I would have had Estrada. I would have had Ahmed. I would have had Chapman. I would have had Conforto. I would have had Yaz. And I would have had Ramos. And I would have had Bailey. And then my pitching, I would have had all the pitchers. I would be in last place, wouldn't I?
You'd be in last place, 100%.
And that was my point of wanting to do that.
Yeah, I get it.
Real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
When we get into when they go back to St. Louis, what's the chances of Matos riding the bench and Slater getting the start?
Oh, if that happens,
come on.
Better than average.
I think. Watch, Dan. You don't think that Slater will start over Matos? Come on.
You know what? I could care less. I would care less who won. I'm wearing that.
Watch. Tell me right now. Am I wrong? Do you think Slater starts over Matos?
Ramos, I'm wearing this hat.
No, over Matos, not Ramos.
I mean, over Matos. Slater
over Matos.
I'm wearing this hat.
It's going to happen. Because he's a veteran. He's going to play over Matos.
If I may quickly share a Mike Kruko classic Mays story that he told yesterday. You guys are going to find this one quite humorous. I'll be quick about it. I know we're kind of fading out here. And I enjoy talking about the past than the present. Giants, to be perfectly honest.
The past is better.
Much better conversation. But I know the chat likes to talk about.
Don't look back. Always look ahead. Live in the present.
90%.
No, it's if you're a Giants fan, you have nothing but to live in the past.
So Mike Kruko was saying that he always had a problem with a guy named Jose Cruz, played for the Astros, left-handed hitter. Couldn't get him out. And he's pitching on a Friday night against the Astros. And they have their little team meeting the starting pitcher, Kruko, the catcher, and then he invites the middle infielders to come up with a game plan. And they asked him, well, how are you going to pitch Cruz tonight? You can never get him out. Kruko was like, I'm going to walk him. I can't get him out. And Brad Wellman was a rookie on that team. He had been on the team 5 days. 5 days, that's it. And Brad Wellman has the balls to tell Mike Kruko, who's a 10-year veteran, throw him low and in. Fastball's low and in. And Kruko got pissed. He's like, know your role. Shut your mouth, rookie. You've been here freaking 5 days. I've been here 10 years. Well, you can't get him out. You're obviously not doing anything wrong. So Kruko's hot. Kruko could be red hot. So he's running hot. Now it's getting close to game time. He's still pissed. Mays comes through the clubhouse, and Willie can pick up things. And Willie's like, "What the hell's wrong with you, Mike?" And Kruko's like, "Man, can you believe this rookie is telling me how to pitch to Jose Cruz?" He goes, "What do you say?" He told me to pitch him low and in on a fastball. And Mays is like, "Yeah, that's right, because Cruz has a high leg kick on his front kick. His front leg goes up. They can't hit low and in on a fastball on a fastball." So Kruko's like, "Okay, now Willie Mays saying that." Okay, he strikes Cruz out 3 times.
Wow.
He goes back and he tells Brad Wallman, "Sorry, Rook, and thank you, Willie Mays." And then Kruko said, and on top of that, I had very good success pitching to Darryl Strawberry, who also had a little. He lifted his right foot up a little bit. Yeah. And guys that do that, the great Willie Mays, who again I mentioned when we started the show, he was not just a 5-tool player, he was a 7-tool player because his IQ. He observed and he noticed based on the one game that people have their little nuances, their little ways of doing things. And if he found a weakness, whether you were a pitcher or a hitter, he would share that with his teammates. So for him to tell Kruko, "Yeah, that kid was right. You were wrong, man."
Los, what do we say about baseball? What is it a game of? No, well, what is it? It's a game of inches.
Adjustments.
Right?
Oh, yeah, adjustments.
It's a game of inches. So if you got someone with the intellect of Willie Mays, that little, observance of that with the leg kick, it's a game of inches. That's all it takes. Yeah. And next thing you know, you're striking a guy out. It's that. Look at that. We're talking about just that little thing, the difference between a home run and a strikeout. That's it's amazing about this game. And that's why he was so good. Because he picked up on this stuff.
You're getting me fired up.
Just an absolute icon.
Time to play some ball.
Speaking of which, hold on.
He was just more than stats. You got to remember, he lost 2 years to Korea. So, everybody talks about how many more home runs he would have hit, how many more gold gloves he would have had, because they started passing out the gold glove in 1957. Willie was a rookie in 51. So you add another 5 or 6 gold gloves to him. Oh my God.
He's a
perfect ball player.
I figured out.
And he was ours.
What were the dimensions?
He was ours.
What were the dimensions in the Polo Grounds?
Ooh, big.
475 to center field.
And what was it to left?
Center field in the Polo Grounds? That was like 540.
Was it 5? Was it over? I thought it was like 4, high 4s.
Look up the dimensions in the Polo Grounds real quick, because he played in the Polo Grounds in 51 and 54. So how many home runs? I mean, and then think about it. He played at Candlestick Park his whole career, and before they even enclosed Candlestick Park, they didn't enclose it until the end of his career, like 70, when the 49ers. Started playing there from Kezar. That was all open, and that wind would just come in and knock balls down.
And what did Willie say that he did with his swing, Dan? After he figured out Candlestick, he started going to right center.
Yeah,
and try to pull the ball.
Yeah.
How many of today's players could adjust like that?
So,
my ballpark won't let me pull home runs. The wind's going to knock it down. I'm going to adjust and be able to go to right center, and he did.
I am amazed. You try this. Just try taking 2 years off, whatever you do in your line of work. I heard this tonight, and I was thinking this the other day when we missed 2 years. I said it. to me, that is maybe one of the most unbelievable feats in all of sports. That he's right up there with Michael Jordan leaving to play baseball and then coming back, and Muhammad Ali, going basically, how many years did Ali spend away wasn't he in prison for how many years?
I think 2.5.
Yeah, and he comes back and he gets you try, but to me, baseball's even more so because it's a game of timing. Missing 2 full years of the game, and then he comes back and wins the MVP in 54. The guy, I believe, would have hit 800 home runs because if he didn't play in the Polo Grounds and if he didn't play at Candlestick and he didn't miss 2 years. He hit 660. We know those 2 years, 52 and 53, you can easily add, what would you say, conservatively, 55, 60 home runs?
Yep.
Okay.
Conservatively.
60.
Prime. Yeah.
60 home runs. That's 30 a year. That's
720.
How many did he hit in 54, Eric?
Oh, how many did he hit?
He was MVP of the league. Also, there's the dimensions of the Polo Grounds.
There you go.
What do we got? 279.
Eric was exaggerating a little with the
I was
540.
over. Yeah, oh yeah. I was way over.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Left center, 483.
That's ridiculous.
But look at down the lines.
Jeez.
I mean, if you could, what do you think it was just to left field? Maybe 300 based on that?
375.
Well,
just a straightaway left, not down
no,
the line.
between the 279 and 450.
Yeah, 375.
Wow. Yeah, maybe.
In 54, he hit 41 home runs.
Okay, so give me 30 home runs a year. 41 home runs and in that stadium? Look at that. Not all of them were that stadium, but okay. So I give him 60 homers off 660. What does that bring him up to? 720? Okay. So he's at 720. Aaron's chasing Mays, not Ruth. Okay, 720. Now take out Candlestick. How many
homers did Candlestick cost him?
5 a year at least?
And how many homers did Aaron get helped with Atlanta? And I love Hank. I'm not diminishing Hank, but he did play on an easier ballpark.
Okay, so 5, let's say 5 a year, just to be pretty conservative. 5 a year, and he played at Candlestick from
58.
Well, 58 was Seal Stadium.
Yeah.
Candlestick was 60.
In 60 to
71.
72.
72.
72.
12 years.
62 to 72 or 60?
You might want to just go 71 because he only played 19 games for San Francisco in 72.
Yeah, call it 10 years.
It was 60. It was 60, right? 1960.
1960 is when they opened up, in Candlestick.
So 55 home runs. So he goes from 720 to 775. I think that's really, really realistic. 775. Bonzins was 762, right?
And it wasn't just the Polo Grounds. Ballparks in that era were larger parks. So he lost a lot of home runs there as well.
Kyle McKiernan says he thinks 9 to 10 a year. Yeah, I was being conservative with 5.
One thing we had a good discussion in Chicago about was the Mount Rushmore of professional athletes, just professional athletes.
Oh, we talked about the
and 3 are pretty well. I mean, for the most part, like Jordan, Mays, Ali. I don't think you can go wrong. It's the 4th one that is kind of where everybody kind of has different answers.
All right, you got Jordan,
Mays, and Ali.
You know who my 4th guy is? Probably
my 4th guy is Tiger Woods, based on just dominating sports. Yeah. Just based on domination of your sport.
He dominated, no doubt about it.
Mine, I thought about Tiger, but because he played to like 45 and he won a Super Bowl at like 43, 44, I'm going with Brady.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Brady either. I mean, that's not a wrong answer.
No, there is no wrong answer.
I mean,
even on the other one, somebody could throw Gretzky in there, maybe overall league.
Yeah, Tiger Tiger doesn't have his personal issues and injuries, I think he would have broke Jack Nicklaus, not Nicklaus' son, Jack Nicklaus's record for majors.
By the way, at the game at Wrigley, I did wear a Giants hat, but I did wear a Walter Payton.
I saw the picture. I was like, man, you're conflicted, Los. You're conflicted.
I know, but I got a lot of love because I wore Sweetness there, and I was teasing people that were giving me love for the shirt. I was like, yeah, it's a good thing that there was a number associated with it, 34. That's his nickname. Because if I just had a shirt that said Sweetness, yeah, that would not look too good. So it's a good thing I had a number associated with it. Where are you from? Where are you from? Oh, the Bay Area, San Francisco. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Are these your three roommates? Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. I can't say enough about Wrigley. It's just it's a special place.
Northern Lights Entertainment.
Speaking of which, this show is brought to you by Northern Lights Entertainment. You can listen to Northern Lights Entertainment on northernlightsentertainmentradio.ca. Streams all 5.
It was a shirt, Shell. It was a shirt. It wasn't a jersey. It was just a shirt that said.
I see. Glenn he dropped like 2 to 3 points tonight, something like that.
No.
Earlier?
No.
2?
No, he didn't drop at all.
Maybe he moved back up. He was down about 2 hours ago.
He moved up.
A couple hours ago, he was down.
Because the game's run over. He's at +3.5.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What did I end up with? I was -0.5 for a while. What did I end up with?
You ended up with -0.5.
Okay. Huh. You moved up like 2, right?
Just 1.5.
Oh, you dropped. You were 2 before the show.
Was I?
Yeah.
Wow, I checked earlier before the show, and it still showed 1.5.
Maybe it was 1.5. I thought
it was 1.5 pretty much all night. Yeah.
We didn't talk about Crawford playing third base for St.
That was awesome.
Tonight.
Well, Arenado's actually got hurt yesterday.
Okay.
Maybe it's more than just tonight. He looked good, except for when he got picked off.
No, that was rough.
Did you read his lips?
No.
He was pretty embarrassed and pissed.
I bet. I
mean,
hey, that Wynn kid, it was pretty good.
I like Mason Wynn.
I like Mason Wynn. He's a good ball player.
Yeah.
He's a small guy too.
Yeah. I love I like the interview with him too. Hey, right now the Giants are let's just take a look at the standings and we'll close this out of here.
It's so tough, man. It's just
Dan, I'm surprised you didn't say nothing about the hat.
Yeah, the White Sox.
The Sox, I like it, Los. I like it. How do you like that one?
That's the classic one. They got a lot of nice stuff over there.
Yeah.
A lot of variety hats.
Yeah, man.
You saw the one I sent you to wear on the show. You don't say no. We had a good laugh on that one, man.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you backstage, Eric.
All
right. So let's close out of here with these standings, because this is why I'm just like, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that people are calling the Giants a playoff contender. It's fool's gold.
And who's pitching on Friday?
Johnny undecided, maybe.
Fair enough.
No,
they can't be Bivens because they threw Bivens and Howard, didn't they?
Let's see who's pitching Friday. My guess is it's Johnny undecided, but let's just.
I don't know who they're going to throw.
It is what? Oh, I hit the wrong game. How did I do that? Friday.
They don't play Friday? Are you sure? When did they play?
Oh wait, yeah, they don't play Friday. It's Saturday. They don't play tomorrow because off day. They're going to St. Louis. Jordan Hicks. They moved him up. That means Webb's going Sunday. Yep, they're desperate. They moved guys up because of the off day.
They have to.
They're going to try and win this series with Hicks and Webb. It's their only 2 pitchers they've got. But
guess what? Hicks only goes 5 innings.
Yeah.
Then what are you going to do?
They'll probably bring
I know, Los. I know. This is what we've been saying. It's
Can they in the off season please look at starters that can? If they're going to sign up,
why did they
that
sign
can
Cobb for
actually-
$10 million, man? That made no damn sense.
Look at St. Louis, 37-37.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Look where the Giants are though in the wild card. Even though they're like a game and a half.
They're like 2
out.
games out. They're 2 games out.
It's ridiculous. They're a game and a half out.
Look, yeah.
But they are 15, 14, 13. They're tied for basically they're like 13th, 12th.
The Washington 13th. Nationals are ahead of the San Francisco Giants, man.
I picked them.
I did too. I didn't pick them for the playoffs, but I said they'll be a bet.
Dude.
I have 300 on the Nationals to win over 67 and a half.
That is just pathetic, man.
I had the Pirates over the Giants. I said there was going to be 2 teams that would be under the Giants. I mean, the Giants would be for probably sure ahead of, and that was the Rockies. And you know what? I don't even remember who the other one is. I think I had the Marlins up higher this year, but they are disastrous. But, you know, I'm looking at this and I think, okay, the Giants are 1.5 out of – they're 2 games out of the second wild card spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 teams are within 2 games. This just – I don't like it. I hope there's some separation because I don't like to watch mediocre baseball and see teams get rewarded. Yeah. I think it's a joke. I think if you can't be over 500, you're just, you know, I don't know. I know there's been teams in history like the New York Mets, the 69 Mets, the Miracle Mets or whatever they were. They were like barely over 500 and they won the World Series. It happens. It's rare, but they had pitching. I mean, they had Seaver, they had Nolan Ryan, and they had Kuzman, and there was a fourth guy. I can't even. I'm drawing a blank. Was it Matlock or I don't remember if he was there at that time. But you know, the Giants. I'm not counting Jordan Hicks as one of those guys. He's okay, but he's not going to be able to take you there at the end. I just don't see it.
Let me see how many innings pitch he's at now. Interested.
How about to end the show? We're about halfway through the season, and then we all 3 of us made World Series picks before the season started. We get a chance to like edit that right now. I picked I picked Cincinnati versus Baltimore at the beginning of the season. Not looking too good on Cincinnati. And I was totally out of left field as a sleeper. I didn't want to pick the Dodgers or anything like that. I'm obviously going to change that pick. So I am halfway through the season going to go with, I'm going to say the Phillies and the Yankees. I like Cleveland a lot, but that's more my heart. I'd love Cleveland to get in there, but if I had to put money on it, I would say Phillies and Yankees.
Okay, you know what? Let's come back to that. We'll do it now, but we'll come back to it after the trade deadline.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Oops, you can edit that out then.
That's fine. No, but for right now, that's fine because you know things are going to change at the trade deadline.
What you got, Eric?
I'm going to say something that you've been talking about, Dan. I think it might be Dodgers and Yankees for a World Series.
Yeah, ratings-wise, that would do great.
I picked the Phillies and Orioles in the preseason.
That's good.
And
I think I picked Atlanta and Baltimore.
I'm going to.
That's solid.
I may change it just for. I'm going to stick with it, but if I had to change it, I would go Yankees Dodgers.
Yankees Dodgers, yeah. Now, like I said, I preface this because we don't know what's going to happen at the trade deadline. Because if Baltimore, because look what Baltimore did, they won the series against the Yankees. If they land some more pitching, I don't know, man.
Go sign Trevor Bauer, man. He's free.
Supposedly, the Houston was in on it. I don't know.
Don't have to go out and make a trade of somebody, man. I don't get that. If he doesn't pan out, you didn't lose nothing but a few bucks and some, you know.
Yeah, that's it. No draft picks.
You know the Giants don't need to trade Webb or, for a pretty good overhaul. In the playoffs, like relief pitching is considered gold. So any of these contenders would give up some nice prospects, and not even necessarily for Doval. They might, for the Rogers brothers, they might give up something.
You know what? Jelly might actually get somebody.
Yeah, Jelly might.
That's a great call. It's a great call.
And if you
right now, Doval's stock is he's
buy low, sell high, Dan.
Yep. You might package, if you want to package, something really big. How about PB and Jelly? Yeah, PB and Jelly. Bailey and
I saw
Jelly.
that graphic. Yeah, they had that graphic.
PB and Jelly. You get yourself maybe a burger.
I think Bailey might be better than a 240 hitter. He looks pretty damn good.
Bailey looks pretty darn good. He might. I think he might be a 268 to 279 hitter.
You know what's weird? His offense has gotten better and his defense has gotten worse.
Yeah.
Go figure. He added weight, so maybe he's not wearing down as long.
Well, if you think about it, I'm not going to put a lot of these stolen bases is not necessary because of.
Yeah, the pitchers do a horrible job at holding runners on. That's a good point. Yeah.
All right, guys. We're off tomorrow.
Yep.
We'll be back Saturday night, 8:30. Giants take on the Cardinals again, this time in St. Louis. Let's see what time the game time is Saturday.
As you're doing this, let me get some music going as we're doing this.
Oh, it's 11:15 in the morning game. Cool.
Let's go.
Same with Sunday. All right, guys. Network. Thanks to our sponsor, Northern Lights Entertainment. You can find them where, Eric, on the web?
Northern Lights Entertainment Radio.ca.
Like that, man. He puts effort into that.
Man. Yeah, let's go. No MHC tomorrow. And the next MHC is going to be June 27th after the first presidential debate.
Interesting.
Should be, yeah. There's a lot going out there in the world right now, man. That show is going to be. It's not just going to. I'm just not going to stay with the presidential debate. I'm maybe getting other things, but boy, there's stuff happening. Imagine that.
Wow.
There always is.
Yeah, there'll be some stuff happening. When you talk about an October surprise this year, there may be a bigger surprise in store for the country.
Not just the country. It's
the world. Yes. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for joining NorCal Sports Network. Giants take it on the chin again, 6-5. But the story of the night was the Negro Leagues and the focus on Willie Mays in Birmingham, Alabama. You know what? After tonight, I want to go to the Negro Museum in Kansas City and see what's happening there. I want to check that out.
Real quick, we might as promo this. You guys are up to it. September 23rd and 24th. The Gathering in the Desert. Go catch a game. We're going to have some ping pong going on, hopefully the night before.
Go some rattlesnake hunting in the night in the desert.
I ain't doing that bullshit. No, sir. I'll pass on that. Man, I'll pass on that.
Come on, you're military, man.
I ain't messing with no damn rattlesnakes, man.
Will B lives in Tucson, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Did he actually say come to my house to play? I mean, I'm not driving an hour and a half to your house.
No. We'll be playing.
I love you, Will.
I know Mark Graves. He's got a ping pong club that he put up on he showed that there's a ping pong club we could go do.
Oh, there's spots. Trust me, I've found about 5 of them. So.
It's gonna be fun. Looks like we might have some doubles. We'll do some.
Eric will defend his title that he somehow conjured up that he has.
Yeah,
he very well could have.
Look at that, baby! Look at that!
Why is my scar bigger than Dan's? that means that you beat me 21-3 or something. Come on, man.
He does have a bigger shiner though. He does have the bigger shiner.
I got the shiner and the scar.
Well, so does he. But
I'm gonna just say,
Eric
man,
landing haymakers, man.
I might have to, for the big event, I might have to pull a Lamont Wade.
I knew it. I knew he's gonna go.
I'd love to be there.
My hip,
my eyes,
dude.
my vestibular.
You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna feel bad because I'm gonna get you going lateral, and I just hope you don't blow out your hip. That would be. I don't want to see you diving for a ball going to the side, and next you go, oh, my hip. That could be bad.
There's going to be a sleeper that comes out of nowhere that's not saying anything. It's going to come in there and play really well. That's my
what I'm going to do?
We'll see.
I'm gonna go find the right guy, and I'm gonna just say, this is my buddy, and I'm gonna take this guy on. Take this smack talking guy on.
I'm not even smack talking.
You're smack talking.
I play good. I can play good. I'm just being honest.
You're gonna have somebody pinch hit for you.
What happens if he's really like he smack talks and he's really like Robert in the after Robert said he was going to whip you. I think Robert
I got my weapon here.
Robert is now focused on fantasy, and I think he's coming to get one or two guys at the bottom. Going to pass up somebody. I'm pulling for Robert.
There we go. Oh, hold on. Yeah, before I get out of this, Glenn just reminded me, hey, man, forgot all about this. You can listen to me and Glenn on the radio Saturday mornings. Take a listen.
Rock and Talk with Eric and Glenn.
Hey, wait a second. Hold on.
Rock and Talk with Glenn and Eric.
Hey, that's better.
Saturday mornings at 10 and rebroadcast Sunday morning at 7 on 103.5 Capital FM.
On 103.5 Capital FM.
There you go, man. There you go.
I want to be hired for that job. Come on, Glenn. Give me a job.
Yeah, Glenn and we do that every Saturday morning. It's pretty cool.
Cool. All right, guys. Yep, Dan's going to scout pro ball retirees and then bet on live on house, and Eric is going to be sideswiped. That's right. That's right.
That's not how it works. It's not how it works.
You know what I'm going to do?
Mano y mano, man. Mano y mano.
I might just be behind Eric somewhere.
We can play double. Hey, I think we're going to do.
I might be behind Eric or something and just like shoot spit wads at him.
We can play doubles. You and Los against me and Will. That should be fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're out. Final time. We'll see you tomorrow. Or Saturday, excuse me. Saturday night.
8:30, right?
Yeah, 8:30. Saturday night, guys. Have a good Friday.
See you then. Woo! Wait. What is this, Ron?
Well, you can't stop.
What is this, Ron? Ron.
Calling you out. Ron, you need to come to Arizona and prove it.
Come on, Ron. Then you better be in Arizona on September 23rd and 24th. Because now you're releasing the Kraken here. That's what you're doing.
Eric is soft. I've heard that releasing the Kraken. Isn't she in prison now?
No.
I'm
talking about.
Didn't the lady that said I'm releasing the Kraken?
The deadly damn squid that crushes ships.
Didn't she admit she was lying? I think Eric's lying. Ron, you got it. Eric,
come on,
is soft.
Come on.
Scarface.
There we go.
Eric is Scarface. Eric is going to be scarred.
All right, let's get out of here for the second time. See you guys Saturday night. Woo!